out of Uganda, and you know, they're viral sensations, and we just kind of wanted to show the culture just abroad. You know, if you heard the record, it's a whole vibe, man. It's a vibe. It's half Dutch, half English, you know, and it's a record that is going to you know, it's going to resonate all over the world.
So yeah, talk about, you know, the first project in contrast to this record. Like, is it like an extension, you know, part 2 extension of part 1, or is it going to be a little bit of difference? Talk about that.
Yeah. Well, look, man, you know, when we first came together to do this, you know, I have a person on my team named Michelle Theus, and she is really connected in the basketball world. So when I came up with the idea of, hey, you know, I want to really merge hip hop and sports, because, you know, as we know, the rappers want to be ball players want to be rappers. So, you know, I wanted to create a platform that kind of bring that all together. And she's like, well, you know, what you think about Kawhi Leonard? I'm like, Kawhi? Really? He's like, yeah, you know, I'm doing some business with him. And you know, he's really into music and stuff. You should holler at him. So she connected the dots with me and his uncle Dennis and him, and we just had the best conversation, and the vibes was incredible. You know, he's really into music, really hands-on. You know, obviously he's an NBA champion, man. So he does things at a high level. So, you know, I really just wanted to, you know, make sure that the project was no different. You know, we did it at a high level, and it was something that no matter how well the first part did, it's something that we could be happy about. And the response to it was incredible, man. It was incredible. You know, people were like, yo, how did, you know, Rod Wave and Young Boy on the same record? What? Kawhi did that? What? How did, you know? And so, you know, we wanted to just put out the first part of the project just to test it, you know, because we didn't want to do too much. We wanted to give people what they wanted. And a lot of people didn't know that they wanted a Kawhi Leonard album, but they do now.
Yeah, I mean, cause I remember I heard that initially, and I'm like, Kawhi kind of give off that vibe, a quiet guy, you know what I'm saying? Reserved, laid back, you know. He was like, never thought he'd actually take a dive into the hip hop music world, you know what I mean? In any form, you know what I'm saying? But like, yo, what was your initial reaction when you walked in? What was that first day like? You know, what was your expectations going in there? And did he surprise you from, like, you know what I mean, his musical knowledge, anything that he got to offer?
Yeah, man. It was just vibes, man. You know, I come from a record making background, so I've been in the music business for years. You know, parents was in an R&B group, so I come from that background. You know, so meeting with Kawhi, it was just free flowing, man. You know, it was, you know, he allows me to do what I need to do. You know, he's definitely hands on. We talk about music, talk about, you know, the artist, and at the end of the day, it's just, you know, let's make it great. You know, that's what it always comes down to. Let's make it great, you know, and let's not just do something to do it, you know. So it's been amazing, man. It's been amazing. And we're working on part 2 right now. We got a lot of big names, you know, that are a part of that. But what we found is, you know, there's just a lot of great content that kind of comes together when you put the ball player and the artist together. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when Kawhi had the conversation with NLE Chopper, man, and you know, Chopper was like, yo, your basketball coach, he's my coach, and there's all this kind of synergy that just kind of comes out of it, man. And it's like, you know, that's what this whole project is all about, man. Because, you know, I grew up playing basketball, definitely not on Kawhi Leonard level, but you know, playing basketball, and my parents did music, you know, and a lot of my friends did the same, you know, and some went off to be basketball players, some went off to have a career in entertainment, man. So it's just this idea that, hey, you know, we understand each other because we come from the same place. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we come from the same place. So.
Hey, on the low, you ain't got, like, you know what I mean? Just between us, man. Kawhi got bars behind the scene. You know, drop a little tight full bar.
Yo,
like, I'm here at the radio station. I got 4 bars. I know you used to be an A&R. Don't make me spend my 4 bars right now.
Hey,
nah, but like, yo, Kawhi, you know what I mean? You sneaky nice, and you got a couple bars. What's going on, man?
Listen, man. You gotta ask him, man. You gotta ask him. I'm not, you know, but you'd be surprised, man. There's a lot of not only ball players, just athletes in general that have dabbled in the music, and a few of them are taking it very, very seriously. And I've ran into a few of them, and I'm very, very surprised with how nice a lot of these guys are.
We talk about the GOAT rapper. I mean, GOAT basketball player. Who's the GOAT rapper basketball player? Is it Shaq? He went platinum. I don't know.
You mean the rapper basketball player?
Yeah.
Oh,
All players.
shit.
Who you think?
Damn. Hey, listen,
you ain't got the top 5 dead alive. I don't know. We got top 5. Top 3 dead alive.
Shaq was nice, man, and he had the numbers to back it up. So, so we gotta give Shaq credit for that. But man, listen, man, Kobe, rest in peace, Kobe, man. But he was in the game, man.
Yeah.
Iverson, these guys, these athletes, they got stuff tucked away.
Yo, that AI Joe was tough. Like in front, yeah, the AI. They ain't let him play. He's over there rapping like Mobb Deep. So
exactly. Man,
all right, so let's talk about Culture Jam itself. Like, talk about that.
Yeah.
It's a cultural lifestyle brand. Like, kind of give them details on what actual Culture Jam is and what it represents.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, man, it's really it's the intersection between hip hop and sports, man. It's that moment, where like I said, the idea was, a lot of us come from the same place, man. A lot of us are come from the inner cities, and either we play basketball or we rap, and that's just the reality for a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? And so the idea was just to kind of create a platform, and kind of tell that story, through music, through content, and through other avenues. So this is just the beginning. Part one, Culture Jam Part 1 was just the beginning. A lot of great things came from that, and we're just trying to build on that.
Okay, got you.
And just take it to another level.
So let's talk about your background. You talk about how you played ball, but let's talk about why you were a big deal out here in the music industry, man. First, you were A&R for a couple major record labels. I mean, you dealt with artists such as Saweetie. Matter of fact, she around. She going through him. Now he Lil Pump, they do.
Yeah.
They, you dealt with a lot of artists. Talk about how you got to start and how you got to that point where you're done with these big name, great artists over here.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, man. I'm I guess I could say now 20-year vet in the music industry. Started when I was 18 as an intern. Take it back. My parents was in an R&B group independently. So they planted the seed in me. So I grew up around music. I grew up around, they had all the singles back in the day, all the albums. So that was just always in my blood. So when I got to college, college was cool. Don't get me wrong. Go to school, stay in school, but I already knew at that point that I wanted to be a music executive, and so I left my sophomore year, got an internship, which means I worked for free out in LA, and that was the beginning of my journey. I really, got it out the mud and worked my way all the way through, and just added different tools to my toolbox, man, and really learned from ground zero how to make records, how to deal with artists, how to discover artists, how to sign artists, how to take a record and work it through a building and make sure that it gets the proper love and care to potentially be a hit. I've gained all those skills along the way,
Yeah.
So it's great, man. Being an A&R is way more than just signing an artist, man. You got to know what to do with that artist when you get them.
Yeah. So like, what was like your first big name or somewhat big name artist you signed as you was an A&R? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cultivated a talent.
Yeah. Well, what started, with me, my first really big hit was this song called "Whip and Nene" by this kid named Silento.
Yep.
And this was really kind of before the streaming era. He had a dance that went with the song, but he didn't make up the dance. Somebody had made up a dance, and it started going viral on YouTube. And back when downloads was hitting, it was being downloaded, and streaming came around later. And so you had this kid who, had this really big hit. He's trying to learn the dance. Everybody think it's his dance. He don't even know how to do it.
Trying to learn it. That's crazy.
and that was like, the first time that I really started to really get into things being viral. and started really learning about that, and that was way early on. So that was my first big one. And then I went over to from there I worked at Epic for a little bit under the legendary L.A. Reid, who's just an icon in the business. And then from there, yeah, and then from there I went out to work at Warner Records to help build out the urban department. And then that's when I signed at the time, 2017, this kid named Lil Pump, and he had the big record Gucci Gang, had the record with Kanye, and we were just going on a run, man. Wife and Lucci, and then I ended up signing Sweetie, more down the line. We went on, and she's obviously a sweetheart and just really great artist to work with. And, we had a bunch of hits with her, and she's just getting going, man. She's still, she got stuff coming.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, man. Again, we're here with Eesean Bolden, you know what I'm saying? Coach of Jam. And he just run down the whole thing. I mean, he behind the record with Nene, Sweetie, you know what I mean? Lil Pump. My man's a big deal out here. Please believe it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, but like, how do you have the foresight to see that? Like you said, you just, gave everybody a quick tidbit, you know what I mean, on our airwaves, so about like, the Nene record came out and he didn't even know how to do his own dance, you know what I mean? Like, how do you have the foresight to actually like, yo, this song gonna be a hit? I mean, it's huge. They still play it. Like, we just had like, a local event for like the youth, and that record came on, and the little kids came out. You know what I mean? Slow down and nowhere out the ground. The Nene and all that. How do you have like, the foresight to see that, man?
I think it's a combination of things, man. When you really lock on, when you're young and you're really trying to really learn the business, and like I say, you're just adding different things to your toolbox, man. You're learning what to recognize, the uniqueness in the artist, the authenticity, if they have a viral moment, kind of when to jump in and try to get it. You're learning how to negotiate deals, you're learning the type of deals to do, so I think just all of that, just accumulation of all of that, really helps me identify what could possibly be the next big thing.
Okay, so about yourself, outside of being all in with Coach Jam, being the founder and CEO with that, what you got going on outside of that? Are you just all locked in with that, or you got like any other endeavors going on outside of that?
Well, listen, man, making sure Culture Jam is everything we do is at a high level and great is a job in itself, man. So I'm really locked into that. That's my baby. That's the most important thing to me, and it's only the beginning. We got more volumes, more things coming down the pipe with Culture Jam outside of just music. Yeah.
All right. I mean, you can plead the fifth on this, man, but you've been in the industry for a minute, man. What's the craziest thing you've seen in the industry? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to get no names, man. Nah. All right, plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
Gotta ask questions. We gotta live vicariously through you, man. I gotta throw that question out there, man. But nah,
it's a lot of crazy shit though. I mean, stuff. Sorry, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. Are you guys currently looking for new artists?
Always, always looking for new artists, new records. We interacting a lot with the athletic community, and so a mixture between artists and athletes, and bringing them together and shooting super cool content. And, putting it together, man. So
yeah, like make sure you guys go check out the video. The OK Culture Jam, they got a video out there, and they out there hooping. You know what I'm saying? So you see the, you know what I'm saying? You see how they combine that for real. So how do you feel about the current state of music right now, though? You know what I mean? Like you deal with a lot of artists that's actually currently popping. You know what I mean? You either dealt with or you're currently dealing with, but music as a whole. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, since I've been in the music industry, it's always been ever changing. You know what I mean? So that's the exciting part for me is, the music is changing, the fashion, everything is changing in the culture, continuously. I do feel like, there's a lack of stars, like, somebody when they walk in the room, it's like, oh, that's a superstar. There is a lack of stars, I feel like, in today's market.
Ain't nobody fainting no more. Like, what happened to the days over like Michael Jackson's out here, everybody fainting? You know what I'm saying? And we had a combo on the radio station before. It's like, yo, when's the last time you seen the big time artists have people faint? Like, we got the big name artists, the Beyoncé's, you know what I mean, so on. But I'm talking about faint. Like, people like catch the Holy Ghost to see him, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You ever see that happen again in this era?
I mean, I'm sure it'll work its way back, man. I just think that we're in an era where music is so easy to make and easy to consume. You know, that we just getting all of it, man. We're getting all of it, however it comes. You know, it's a lot of it is not developed. A lot of it just comes as is, man. And you know, you get a lot of viral records where the artist is, you know, they're still figuring out their look. They're still figuring out their swag. They don't know how to perform yet, but they got this record going. So it's like, you know, they're playing catch up to the song a lot of the times. And one thing is you have to put the work in. Anything you do, you can't bypass time, you know. So this is the kind of the result that you get, you know. But the ones that stick in the race and stay true to their craft and develop over time, I think eventually they'll catch up to, you know, their records.
Are you anybody you would give advice to that want to be an A&R? Like, you know, you say you started off as an intern and you want to be an A&R and you put on all these artists, you know what I mean? Are there other like routes, you know what I'm saying? To actually be in that?
There's no one way to do it. You know what I mean? I just think when you get your opportunity, make the best of it. You know what I mean? You know, sign stuff that you believe in and you know, learn as much as you can because you're gonna need every little bit of it, you know. Understand politics because you're diving into now you're in the corporate machine, you know what I mean? And anything corporate, you got to deal with some politics outside of just the creativity. So, you know, my best advice is just to get in there, and start learning. You know, start off, whether you get paid or not, just get your foot in the door. You know, you never know what could happen.
All right. So after this OK record, you know, you got another record on deck, or you know, you're still trying to figure out.
We got a few records on deck, but I you know, I can't really speak on it. But I think they'll be they're fine.
All right, so yo, what your man Kawhi gonna do next year, man? You know what I mean? He gonna bust ass next year? What's going on, man?
Man, personally, I think they winning a championship, man, and I'm not just saying that because I you know, we work together.
Yeah.
I just think they got a beast of a team, and he's looking beastly right now. So
they showed some workout pictures.
That's my prediction.
Yeah, they showed some pictures like he in shape. Got John Wall now. So you got Paul George. Yeah, man, the Clippers gonna be something to deal with for real, man. So like, yo, if everybody your info, like anybody want to get in tune with you and check you and all that.
Absolutely. Well, first off, you know, follow Culture Jam. And that's Instagram, Culture Jam, all the social handles, Twitter, all that stuff at Culture Jam. And if you want to follow me directly, it's at Eesean Bolden. It's simple, at Eesean Bolden on all platforms.
Yeah, so yo, he just said like, yo, Kawhi gonna drop that freestyle soon. You know what I mean? Be on the lookout for that. Yeah, man. Hey, yo, man. Yo, introduce the record, man, while I cue it up. You know what I mean? Thanks for checking in with us, man. It's Eesean Bolden, Culture Jam. Make sure y'all check them out. They on some big things out here, man. So yeah, get to it, man.
Yeah. Follow the movement, you know, Culture Jam. This is the first single off part 2, featuring Bramcito, featuring Frenna. It's called